Hi, my name is Cheri. Welcome to my Stampin' Up! Studio. Today I have a couple of different fun projects I'm going to show you, and I'm mostly using almost everything's from our Stampin' Up! Holiday catalog, which has a few more weeks left because, you know, we're racing towards Christmas. Let me put my finger here. I can't believe that it's already November, right? But I'm going to show you a card, two cards. I'm making one card, and then I'm going to show you one, and then a gift tag. And I'm going to be using a lot of products from the Night Before Christmas suite. I know some people have missed it because we were talking at my last camp, and I was like, I haven't got it. It was calling my name because it's just adorable. So I got it because, you know, it was calling my name. I had to. But I really wanted the dies. The dies are so cute, and that's what I'm going to use today. And I'm going to use the stamps as well. But the suite itself has a lot of fun little pieces. So we're going to use the Night Before Christmas Memories and More cards and envelopes. Super cute. And I can't remember if I've done a video or only a Facebook Live. So I'm going to show you the cards that we made at camp last week, or last month. We did use the Memories and More pack. It's hard for me to do them in a video or on a Facebook Live because the way the packs come, you know, I have to save them all between being able to use them and have then enough for everybody at camp. It comes with some adorable paper. I have not got the paper yet. It's a 6x6 pack, super, super cute. I just have a lot of paper, and I could have used it on this project, but I didn't have it. So, you know, you can make do without it. I'm going to use the stamps and dies. I'm going to show you the ribbon on another card, but I'm not using it on this card. And then I'm also using, I took my finger out of it, just a couple of things from the Brightly Gleaming suite. On this suite, I did not buy the stamps and the punch. It's not a die one, it's a punch. And it's beautiful, but you know, I have a lot of this catalog. I probably have 70% of it. So at some point you have to say no, or maybe you don't when you have 70% of it. But I am going to use the paper, and then I'm going to use the ribbon, which I've had the ribbon since pre-order, and I just haven't used it. I would have also used the stars because the stars go with what I'm doing today, except they're already on another project that we're doing at camp. So sometimes when I make a video, if it's just a video and it's just a project I'm making, I do it a bit differently. But because we're doing this project at camp, I don't have enough of these for them to use them on too. So that's my little thought process behind how sometimes I design and how sometimes I don't. So here's the Holly Jolly Christmas stamps. Super cute. The dies then cut out some of the images, cut out some tags. You can look at them. I'll put the link below. It does cut out the Santa. Here's the card that we made at camp in October. If you're in Indianapolis and you ever want to attend my events, you're more than welcome. So with this one, these are the Memories and More cards and envelopes, which I'm going to use again now. And these are the Memories and More pack of cards. So for this one, we just used the little Christmas tree. We added some additional stickers, which they're cardstock stickers. We did use the little stars from the Brightly Gleaming on those. And here's the ribbon that comes with this set. The cards are super cute. They have a really vintage look. And I'll just flip through. You know, when you get stickers with Stampin' Up, they're cardstock. So they're not like paper, chintzy looking scissors. But these are just adorable little double-sided. I don't even know how you pick which side of those cards you want to use. But I also believe, I think that the die, I guess it's right here as I knock things on the floor. Maybe not. I thought maybe they cut that out, but it doesn't. It cuts it out. Here's some of the other dies that we're not using on this card. But I am going to do some kind of a card or something with the stamp and then one of these little cards. These also come in the Memories and More. Here's the one we used last month. So they are super, super vintage, retro. If you're interested in my online classes this month, you will be getting one of these in with your projects because I have 2 classes going, and then this stamp set, you don't have to purchase the die, you just purchase the stamp set, is part of my retro class. So yesterday I posted a tutorial using the God's Peace, which is the candle, and it was the stained glass. So that's the other portion. There's 2 stamp sets that you purchase to be a part of that online class. And then it's this stamp set. So you don't have to purchase the dies or the cards. If we use those in a project, then I will send those to you. So here's the cards and envelopes when you buy them. They're a little bit larger than standard size, which is fun for Christmas. So the first thing we're gonna do is I wanted this to be a panel. I won't leave dies in here stuck together. I wanted to make this a panel card. So this is our stitched rectangle, and I got the one that was closest in size to this. So let's run this through our die cutting machine. And then because these are a little bit larger than standard size, they just fit. So don't fold your card first, that's a tip. Because it's not going to fit well. It's gonna smush the sides a little bit, but we're gonna live with it because we really need this panel, and this is the easiest way to get in here. You could put it in a new paper trimmer, and we are also going to have it go through speed bump, so it's going to make an awful noise, but you can't angle it because you can see that this takes every last inch of the space that you get. So it's going to make a loud clunking noise, which I didn't know that so many people didn't know about the speed bump until yesterday in my video. I accidentally did it once. There you go. There's the noise. And I was talking about the importance of not doing it, and then I started to go through because my cat brought me a ball. So you can see here, it's kind of smudged the edges of this up, but we have that wonderful new embossing folder. This settles. So we're just gonna fix it, because anytime you have bent paper, anytime you accidentally bend some paper, you can stick your paper back in it and it just fixes it. And again, this is a little bit too large for one pass. So it's gonna take two, and we're just gonna put the whole thing in here. So let's go this way, and we'll get as much as we can this way. And always go through, and because it's double, it does take a little bit more. Always go through seam side first. And then it has a big crunch at the bottom because it's a double. So see, it just took that away on that side. And now, see, you can see that's pretty roughed up from where it got sent through, and it was a little bit too big. So I'm gonna put this right here on the edge of my window. That way the line will show the least. And there's my fold of my folder. And have it go through first. Because that big crunchy sound, you don't want that to happen and snap your folders. So if you have folders that have snapped, it's because you did this, the pressure point, as it was going through your machine, and it snapped them. Always put your fold through first. So see, now it's nice and flat. Has a little bit of a wintry look to it, but now there's no more folder thing on it. So before I sit down, we have a bunch of dies. This card's mostly dies. Well, the card's almost all dies except for the sentiment inside. But the tag I'm going to use, there's a set, I don't have my stickers on these, of 3 stockings. I'm just using one. So I'm just gonna ink this stocking up here on the end. I have a piece, all of the cardstock that I'm using that's white is shimmering white. So I've got that. Now we can do all the rest of the die cutting. So put everything else back over here. And I'll put the sandwich back the way it was. So we have a 'Tis the Season. Make sure I put these on the right ones. So that's gonna go on some shimmery white. And then we have, this is the main reason I wanted the whole bundle, was for this beautiful Santa and his reindeer. And then we've got this thing here, but that only needs to go through once. I'm gonna send everything else through twice, just to make sure that I don't have to spend any time poking. So it's faster to do these twice. I did the stocking twice with everything else, and you know the bouncy factor? If you don't know the bouncy factor, let me explain it to you. When all this goes through, it pretty much smashes itself down because there's so many cuts.
So everything like stays in there. So when this lifts back up, they're all in there. So you can run it back through. When you send that through, there's nothing holding it together because it's cut after one time. So it bounces, and then on my second time through, it had squished just a little bit. So then it was no longer in the right place. I'm just gonna switch plates. I need to get some new plates out, but you know, Stampin' Up! Doesn't sell the plates right now, so I'm trying to use them as much as I can. So we do have some new ones hoarded, but until we get word of when we're gonna have some new ones. And this is just gonna take once. The other ones didn't have to be lined up, so it's just easier to do it this way. Get that on there. But if you can see, when this goes through, it bounces up. I'll just not hold on to it. Oh, well, that one didn't bounce very much. But if it's because there's static electricity because my heater's on. But when they bounce and they move just a fraction and that squishes over, then it gives a double cut in another place, and you don't want that. So that's all of our dies. This card doesn't take very long. That's why you could do 2. So let's do the card first. Here's where the Brightly Gleaming came in. This is a piece of cardstock that I cut to be just a little bit bigger than my opening back here. It's from the Brightly Gleaming. So just take your adhesive, put it on the back of here, and then don't press hard as you kind of hold this down. When you send this through the Big Shot with the folder, it kind of presses in where the window was, so it kind of gives you a little place so you can see it. So now we have a little window of the night sky that Santa can fly over. We're just going to take the words from this stamp set. Again, I haven't put my stickers on. Maybe I'll get to it before camp. Maybe I won't. Sometimes they don't have stickers on at camp. They have to stamp like I do. They're used to it. Most of my girls have been coming for a long time. I'll tell you what it says after I stamp it. The only danger it is sometimes, you know, you stamp upside down. So I'm going to stamp my words up here at the top because this gives you down here to sign your family's name. It says, and may your heart be filled with the love of the season. So that's the inside of our card. So now we need our dies. Here's the 'Tis the Season. And the more cut up your plates get, the more everything sticks to it. So I will not be putting this one out at camp because I don't want their stuff to all stick to it. And because these are all scripty, you just want to be careful when you pull them apart. Like, it's cut, but it's like, you know, when you get in your jewelry drawer and everything's like your necklaces are kind of in there stuck together. And I do have my take your pick tool. You got to get all of the little centers of the letters. The E's and the A's, even this S, because they're scripts. So just got all those popped out. Isn't that pretty? And then I just have my silicone mat. It's in the back of the catalog. And I'm just going to put adhesive on the bottom of the word season. And the adhesive resists the silicone. And then just make sure any place that you can see if it's like done the bubbly thing, like if it was you were blowing bubbles as a child and you can see the adhesive, just get rid of that and it will stick to this. Just put this on here. Now we have the 'Tis the Season. Let's get our Santa. I did try painting this with my aqua painters and refills, and it's actually very stunning. And I spilled the red, and I had it all over my hands, and I ended up spending a ton of time cleaning my hands. Well, I didn't spill the refill. It had dripped, it's cherry cobbler, and it had dripped down the side of the bottle, and I didn't see it when I picked the bottle up. And then what happened was, it is very stunning. I don't know if it's still laying here. I think I've moved it. It's very pretty. So this was watercolored on a shimmery white in just 3 colors just to give it some color. But I did the back side too because when you flip the card up, it had kind of soaked through a little bit. And I didn't want a soak through look, so I finished it off. But then this is such a
fragile little piece that when it was wet, it was too fragile. So then at camp, they were gonna have to wait for it to dry. So I spent an hour this morning between the cleaning up the mess and waiting for it to dry and painting it all and making the new Aqua Painter refill colors on a card that y'all aren't even gonna get to see. I thought that thing was laying here because it is pretty. If you were doing it for something that might be a little bit, a wedding card or something, the effort might be worth it. It was not worth it for a Christmas card, especially when my idea was for it to be a quick one. This would also be fun if you are sending pictures of your kids' pictures with Santa, or if you're making a picture frame, you could add your kids' pictures with Santa. Now I have our glue dots, and I'm going to put 2 over on this last reindeer, who in my painted version had a red nose. On this one, he's just going to be a shimmery white silhouette. So you have 2 glue dots here, and then 2 glue dots on the furthest part of the sled. And this is the end of a roll of glue dots, but I knew there were just enough to make this work. So again, as far over as you can get. And I have one up on Santa's bag and one on the sleigh. And then you want it to go through the night sky. So you want it to go through as much of the window as you can. And then put this down and you're done. How completely adorable is that? And so super simple. You could whip through those doing a stage at a time. So then the reason we're doing a tag at camp is everybody's gonna have this. And then there's all these pieces still of this stamp set that I wanted them to be able to use. So this little thing says from Santa, and it's out of the stamp set. So we're gonna take the black memento, get rid of the offcuts from. Fun thing about the tag is it's gonna be white on the other side because it was from our the card. So it's a little bit different than if you just do it with cardstock. So I want this one to be a full one, and the rest of them are gonna kind of go off just to make some background. So stamp it every time and just kind of layer them in and out. So give yourself a little background. Again, this is super fast. I didn't want it to add necessarily more time to camp, but I did want them to be able to use it. So here's the little stocking that we have. I just have our Stampin' Right markers because we are using our blends. Again, design isn't necessarily because I designed it this way, but because at camp we're already using these colored blends on another project. So this is Mango, filling in for our gold. And it's a tiny design and it's a tag. So it's not like it has to be a piece of art. I have this out because I did gray green at first, so I'm not using that. And then Cheri Cobbler. If you colored with the blends for a long time and haven't colored with a Stampin' Right for a while, it's also good to do this because it really makes you appreciate your blends. Because coloring with the Stampin' Rights, the tip is just a little bit more mushy because they're not really designed for coloring. And they do a fine job on the shimmery white cardstock. So they look pretty. But when you're doing it, you're just like, I wish I had my blends. But if you have Stampin' Rights and you don't have blends, it will work for this. Just use shimmery white. Don't use regular white cardstock. It's much prettier and the ink absorbs into the shimmery white much better. In fact, whenever you need to order a neutral, order shimmery white. 9 times out of 10, that's the neutral that I pick. It's a nice color. It's in between white and vanilla, so you don't have to think, do you want white or vanilla? Because it's in between the two of them. And it just has a nice coating that makes it nice to work with. So there's that. So I have my little thing over here that was stuck to my really old plate. And this says To Be Jolly because it goes with the 'Tis the Season that I already put on the other thing. I don't want it to say To Be Jolly because I'm not putting the 'Tis the Season. So I'm just going to take the To Be and snip it right off of here. Just like that. And again, you just need a little bit of adhesive. It's a tag. It's not gonna, it doesn't need to last forever. Put it on here. Get a dimensional. Add it here. And then the ribbon, that's from the Brightly Gleaming. It has Merry Christmas in 2 fonts. So there's a script and a type. You need one of each. Makes it super easy for measuring it. And flip it over and you can decide which one. Do you want the script or the type? I'm gonna go for script on this one because my one I've already made has the type, and that way they can choose, they can see one of each at camp. And then I'm just gonna take a stapler because this is camp, and again, I wanted this to be a fast project just for them to be able to use their scrap. And just staple that ribbon on there. And then the last thing is we have the envelope. Super, super cute. And there's a stamp that says Believe. Just gonna take, let's go with our Stampin' Right marker because this is one of the things that you can do with a marker that you can't do with the blend. And at camp, everybody will say, you don't have the Cheri cobbler pad in with this project because this is something we used to do all the time. We don't do it very much anymore. And I'll say, oh, you use the marker. And they'll all be like, yes, we forget that we can do that because I forget. And 11 months out of the year, I would not have Cheri cobbler on as many projects as I have now, but the Cheri cobbler pad is already on another project. So we're using Cheri cobbler in a lot of projects because it's Christmas. So here, super, super cute. This is one of those projects that everybody's is going to end up looking pretty much the same all the way around. From the tag to the card. Super cute, super easy. Really, really fun products in both the suites. So I hope you enjoy that. If you are in the Indianapolis area, feel free to come to a camp anytime. And this, remember, is this stamp set is part of my November online class. And also remember that if you purchase, I have 2 different thank you gifts this month. So go to my website and check it out. You can get the free gold enamel glitter dots for a smaller purchase. And with a larger purchase, I'm giving the new paper trimmer free. So it's a happy pre-Christmas thank you gift month for you. So have a great day. Bye.